Next question comes from Joel on Instagram. I've got through two brew days on my new setup, and each time my OG has been 10 points off. Weird. I've used the work grant each time, and I've taken multiple samples through sparging and have not let anything lower than 10-10 through. What is the speed at which I should Vorloff, lauter, and sparge? I'm pumping during lauter since I do not have enough vertical height to allow gravity to push the wort from the mash tun to the kettle. Any suggestions? So let's dig in. There are several factors that can lead to reduced mash efficiency for you in your brew house, right? Possibilities. And we're going to jump into some of these because he has a situation where we're using a new brew house. And so we see that that's the big variable, right? That's the big variable. But possibilities that can lead to reduced mash efficiency quickly. Poor crush, inadequate mash mixing, incorrect mash temperature and pH, short mash time, poor lauter technique, sparge water temperature and volume, inaccurate equipment calibration, grain quality and freshness, extreme water quality issues. All right. So, yeah, that's kind of the rundown. That's kind of the rundown. Now let's talk about some things that might apply directly to your situation. This poor crush quality, it's not one that we're going to bring it up and we're going to talk about it. If the malt is not milled properly, the starches in the grain may not be sufficiently exposed for enzymatic conversion, leading to lower extract yield. Okay, that makes sense to everybody. But the variable here is there is a new brew house. There is a new lauter screen or false bottom that he is Vorloffing through and then lautering through. And so what was a crush that was good for the previous brew house may not be good for this current brew house. Okay, so let's examine that as a possibility. You could also have a situation where we do have an inadequate mash mixing. That's a tough one for me to say. The poor mash mixing can result in uneven temperature and enzyme distribution, causing incomplete starch conversion. Techs recommend through mash mixing to ensure even heat and enzyme distribution, which improves the breakdown of starches into fermentable sugar. This could be a thing with a new system as well, right? Maybe that mash mixer, if you have a new mash mixing rig, a new hydrator, maybe you're not actually getting your mash appropriately mixed. I'm not sure with your situation, but maybe. Dealing with a new system, we could be looking at something on the incorrect mash temperature and pH side. Probably not as much the pH side. But wanting to make sure that you are wanting to make sure that all of your temperature probes, outputs, and everything like that are actually calibrated to make sure you're hitting the right temperatures, the temperatures that you believe that you are, right? Because you could have some variation there. So make sure all of your measurement devices are calibrated. Short mash time thing, I don't think is probably your situation. We can get into, struggling with lauter technique. And again, we're back to equipment and what might be some differences in your false bottom or whatnot. If you do have a standard runoff time between, kind of an hour 15, hour 30, if you're not going up to an hour 30, math that thing out and stretch it out, extend it a little bit. Be really cognizant of what that mash bed or lauter bed looks like when you're done running off. See if you have potentially any channeling going on. because if there is an issue with the differences in your mash screens between or louder screens between the two vessels, the two different systems you've used, you could have a situation where you're getting channeling. And so if you have a kind of a leaning bed or one, go ahead and really good flashlight all around the corner. See if you're doing anything like that. When you're graining out, see if you have dry spots, clumpier spots than others, thicker spots than others. And I'm assuming you probably have a louder rake in there, maybe not. If you do, maybe just like a half rotation, very slowly, maybe halfway through your louder, 1 or 2 times. If it doesn't kick up too much debris in your runoff, sometimes I like just that half turn, so you've actually stirred the whole bed just a little bit. And sometimes that can cut it up and make sure you're getting everything flowing all the way through. That might help out. Again, double checking your temperatures, making sure everything is good there, all your calibrations. That's how I would chase it down. Me personally, I mean, the big thing here is that the variable is a different system. You haven't had this problem with the other system. So maybe there needs to be some process changes or grain handling differences that you need to do as far as the crush for this particular louder ton. So that's kind of my gut on it. And yeah, I hope that helps you out.